left.
The liberation of mutant kind has begun.
Welcome to the future.
Who is this clown?
Not clown, Joker.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark. Good idea.
United, the Avengers are strong.
Hawkeye, hands off.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power?
Not this time, Magneto.
My mutant brain senses danger.
Something unseen is slowly spreading its poison, edging tempers.
Think carefully before you do this.
You filthy criminals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You unlock this door with the...
What up, comic fam? Welcome to episode 195. If frames drop, if you lose connection, if we buffer, I do apologize. My internet is still on the fritz, and I don't know how to fix it. I've been trying hard to figure it out, but it's just still eluding me. So I do apologize if we do buffer or you do lose connection with us. I am sorry. But besides that, we are here. We are live, and it is episode 195. If you could not believe it, I can't speak. Yeah, it's gonna be good. I think I had a good time with. Oh, excuse me.
Hello.
Excuse me. Anyway, I did have a good time this week, despite some of my attitudes towards some of the books on this week's pool. I did have a good time with our comics this week because there are some
attitudes that you have today or this week.
But there will be some attitudes because they just some books were just not, they were blah. And we'll be honest with that.
So Joe,
but
Jaden.
Anyway, yeah, what up, Joe? What up, Jaden? What up, my admins? My sponsors. Anyway, before we start the show, we got to talk about our show sponsor, which is Collected Comics and Games here in the DFW area. That's right. That's where me and Nate get our books. It's where we get our single issues, our back issues, our trades, our trading cards, our omnibus, our D&D games, our action figures, our models, our snacks, our cooking books, our Warhammer 40K if we played it.
I've not played that yet.
Statues, I kind of want to, but man, the lore is deep.
It is. It's so deep.
Insanely deep. Oh yeah, plushies. Anyway, you can get all that stuff at Collected Comics and Games in Fort Worth and in Hearst. Right? Because I'm like, I want to say Keller, but it's Hearst.
It used to be Keller. I think it's Hearst now.
It's Hearst now. Okay, so they have two locations. But if you're not in the DFW area and you still want to check out all those cool things that I just mentioned, head on over to staycollected.com, where you can find all that stuff and more, including store variants, incentive covers, all kinds of goodies over there. So if you're in town, check out their locations. If you're not in town, check out staycollected.com. We would love it. Ron and Brent have done an amazing job of curating a great collection of stuff, and their staff's awesome. Shout out to Mike and no longer Lee, because she doesn't work there anymore. Seriously. Anyway, also we gotta talk about our sub goal giveaway. That's right, we're on the road to 1,250 subscribers. When we hit 1,250 subs, we give away slabs, and we're gonna give away a slab. We're giving away this Uncanny X-Men issue number 1 from 2019, 9.8 CGC grade, signed by Jim Chung. Yep, the cover artist. So we will be giving this away when we hit 1,250 subscribers. We'll be giving slabs along the way to 2,000, but when we hit 2,000, we're also giving away this Thor number 1 Nick Klein sketch variant, 9.8 CGC grade, written by Donny Cates, and also, most importantly, signed by Donny Cates. So we'll be giving this away when we hit 2,000 subs. So if you're not already subbed, hit that sub button, ring that bell, and give us a like. It'd be much appreciated. All right, let's go ahead and get to this week's issue. Just to tell you right off the bat, we have one DC book, and I'm going to go on an epic rant.
Oh God.
About DC. So anyway,
let's not make it an epically long one, because
it won't be that long. No, don't worry.
We don't want to hurt feelings here.
Joe's coming in hot, saying Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu is my patois. Really feels like Batman, like a Batman story. I would agree with that. I would totally agree with that.
We're gonna get there.
Yeah, we sure will. All right, let's go ahead and get into the show. We're gonna kick it off with Department of Truth, issue number 27 from James Tiny Onion the Fourth and Simmons. Yeah, okay, all right, perfect.
That's
Oh no!
Oh wow, rookie mistake.
Well, listen. So the problem is I've readjusted, so I might as well just do it now.
That's the gas.
So, bear with me. So I readjusted our.
That's Jim's.
It's not my pick of the week. Okay, listen. The reason why you're seeing that, I had to readjust. I've been trying to fix our internet, and I'm like, okay, we've been pushing out in 4K. I dropped it down to 1080, so everything has been adjusted. I thought everything was adjusted to that size. So like, if I hit just Jim, yeah, we're working right. Certain windows had not been adjusted. So to clear up any misunderstanding, this is Nate's pick of the week.
That's Nate's pick of the week.
Because I'm forced to choose one.
Yes, you are.
Because I can't do multiples like you 100%. Do.
Well, you can if you want. It's your show.
This is my bannered pick of the week. I will unbanner my other ones.
Okay. This is the one that will be up at the shop in our little shelf.
Yeah, totally.
If there's still copies.
If that's still happening.
It is, but
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really love this issue. Now I will put an asterisk by this and say that while this is a good issue, I think by anyone's standards of Department of Truth, this one just hit me in a different way. I actually texted you right after I finished this and was like, sometimes this shit seems so real that it's like, how is this being published? Like, obviously, like, Tinian's making this shit up, right? But like,
is he?
Is he? Like, it's crazy that Tinian is literally making me feel like, wait, have I been a victim of the revisionist Department of Truth?
I wonder.
It's weird to me.
I wonder if it's your history background. I think it's your history background that's making you feel that way.
It could be.
Studied history.
Yeah, it certainly could be. I just I find it really interesting that the way that he picks up on certain real life people whose over dramatic, or at least media centered over dramatic lifestyles fit so well here. Like,
right.
Marilyn Monroe, and being openly knowledgeable and understanding of not only the Department of Truth, but the real truth. And there's like aliens, and she knows the woman in red, and like all these things make perfect sense. And it just fits in a really eerie way. At one point, she goes to a party, and of course, our main agent that has to go with her to everything ends up getting into a conversation with Hunter S. Thompson, who like literally gives his magnum opus, which is like in real life, except if the Department of Truth were the thing that was making him paranoid. And I just find that so entertaining. It's very on the nose and feels like, man, I know this isn't real, but like
it makes you feel. Yeah,
I don't know.
Wait, so you read it? When did you read it? You read it?
I don't know. Whenever I text you, Friday, Thursday.
And you were. I'm assuming you were in your apartment when you read it.
No.
Were you in your car?
No, I was at Misty's house.
I mean, okay. What I'm saying is you were in a home. You were in.
Oh, yes.
Okay. I was reading this in the pickup line to pick up my kids from school. And can you imagine, like, this book already makes you feel like very paranoid, and then you're sitting in line to pick your kids up at school, and then you see like every person that was like walking up to the building to like either pick up their kid or like what. I was just like, who are you? Why? You know, like it's not a good feeling.
It's not. It's certainly not. And I don't know. Like he somehow still made it like heartful too. Like, there's no one that's reading this book. There shouldn't be any human that's reading this book that's like, wait, whatever happens to Marilyn Monroe in real life? I don't really know. Like, we know she dies. Like, we know she's dead, right? Like, we all know she's dead.
But how?
And, yeah, like she, of course, you know, what is it? Her benzos? Is that what it is? Yeah, benzobarbital. And she overdoses on that. But then the last page is like she leaves him a note that says, "Don't be sad. I'm going to see the stars." And I'm just like, oh. Shit. Damn it.
Joe asks, okay, Nate, who killed JFK? The Mafia, CIA, or Oswald? I think a undercover Oswald within the Mafia, hired by the CIA.
Yeah. So, Jim kind of set me up with your history guy. I am a extremely non-U.S. history guy. My history degree has an emphasis on English and Irish relations over the 16th through 19th centuries, and so I don't know. I have particularly on purpose avoided JFK history stuff. I am probably one of the most uneducated history degree havers on JFK stuff. I don't know.
Well,
fun fact. Oswald went to my high school.
Creepy.
Yes.
If there's one good thing that's going to come out of our next president's presidency,
is that possible?
I'm just saying, if there's one good thing, maybe it's him unearthing the JFK files,
stuff,
and alien
just
stuff.
Letting everyone know.
Just let it go. Like if you're gonna fucking tear it down,
let us know about the aliens.
Yeah,
we know they're there. Let us know.
Oh, we know they're there, and we know that probably JFK was probably an alien. So, all right, back to the issue. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
So, do you believe? Because I know we had this hypothesis in the last issue, which is Marilyn Monroe, is Norma Jean a construct of the department, or is she just affected? Is she bringing in constructs and the Red Woman? What do we believe now?
I think your back and forth on the name is exactly what I think. Norma Jean is a real person, but we are seeing in real life her being transformed into Marilyn Monroe by the collective understanding of who this woman is.
Gotcha.
Which is obviously being altered and forcefully fabricated by the Department of Truth. But like, she literally talks about how all these things that she's doing that she doesn't like, that she doesn't want to do, going to these parties that she doesn't like, drinking that she doesn't want to do, and like all these things. It's like Norma Jean is the person, Marilyn Monroe is the facade, and you can see what the ultimate conclusion of that is. So yeah, I think that the person by the time she dies is now the construct and no longer the
Norma Jean
person.
I remember, this doesn't really have anything really to do with the book, but when I was reading this issue and then they mentioned her Norma Jean name, I was like, oh, that's a fucking sick band, bro. Did you ever listen to Norma Jean? Yeah.
Not really.
Like,
I don't remember what they sound like. They were kind of screamo band, right?
They are scream. They're not screamo. They are just, it's like he's just sitting on the toilet. Like them and the Chariot. Did you ever listen to the Chariot?
No.
Holy shit, bro. Like when you go to work tomorrow, just put in the Chariot. I think it's their first album. Holy hell. Like that is just insane. Anyway, all right, cool. Well, I dig it. I really liked the artwork. The artwork was fire in this issue. Just so good. Abstract, loved it. Colorful, just the whole shebang.
Beautiful.
All right, let's move on to The Moon is Following Us, issue number 3. This is my patois.
This would be my second one.
This is just fun. Like the twists and turns already into issue 3, and we're still just getting like these crazy revelations that we didn't even know we wanted or even thought were going to come. And like you look at this cover and you're like, whoa, who the fuck is this, right? And when we open up and we see the mom grieving over her mother in the hospital and the little girl seeing the grandmother in hospice or whatever you want to call it. And so it's very clear that I think it's very clear that whatever she's seen or gone through in her life, obviously she's going to project in her dream state. Right. So when our parents go into the dream world to go find her, they are, and I'm skipping a lot, but like basically they're in a reconnaissance mission to get to her. And in the mission, they are confronted by this like armor snake fluid body looking thing, and it's kicking ass. And when they confront it and are able to kind of strike at it, when the helmet breaks off, it's the goddamn grandma in the first ish, like the backish, the dream sequence at the beginning. And so when it ends and the grandmother, the mask comes off and the grandmother's like, I would know best. I want to keep her here in this dream state. Obviously she's dead. Now we're kind of going like, all right, is this a projection of the grandmother, of the daughter, and how she saw her grandmother? Like, there's just so much to unpack here.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
It's insane. I think Riley is doing a fantastic job at the artwork. Are they the colorist as well?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Just 10 out of 10. I can't not see Riley jumping over to Transformers at some point. Like, I think Daniel Warren Johnson has done a really good job of building a coalition of artists that are all in the same wheelhouse and kind of have the same kind of messy, metal, raw, intense art style.
Mm-hmm.
And so it would not surprise me in the least if we saw Riley jump over to Transformers at some point. I love it. I think this is a great book. I love the intensity of it. I love the sincerity of it with some of the characters, the girl's teddy bear and the frog and, all of it. And then we've got Pigface looking like he's making some kind of deal with the old man with the flying, with the owls, the hot air balloon owls, right. if you will. So like something's afoot, right? We don't know what's going on. And I think that's the best part about this is like there's mystery in it, right? But
yeah,
I don't want to say it's forced mystery. I think the lack of detail is so intentional by Daniel Warren Johnson that it's masterful. And I think, and there are some books that authors will do the same thing where they will intentionally not give you all the details, but the pacing of the book and sometimes the art of the book doesn't allow for that mechanic to work well or work properly. And it's firing in all cylinders in this issue, I believe. I think Daniel, we're 3 issues in, and I'm like, I'm buying this on trade. Like, I'm buying it in trade. If there's a Treasury edition, I'm doing it.
Yeah, I'm really curious what it is that everyone went through that is causing the grandma to think it would be better for her to be dead, than to come back. Because it's got to be bad, right? It's got to be. I don't know. Like,
and that's the other thing is like we don't know like what. Is this grandmother alive? Is she like a spirit? Is she just a construct in the girl's memory? We don't know.
Well, I mean, she's alive. She's in the hospital on the ventilators and stuff.
Right, but that was in the past, so we don't know if she passed away or not. Yeah, at least that was my interpretation, that it was in the past. But who knows? Maybe they're both maybe they're both in a dream state, so their minds are connected. I don't know.
Joe, I don't think we know how many issues are in this. I've been kind of looking for you, but I haven't seen anything that says.
Yeah. But anyway, loved the book. I thought it was really fun, and I'm right there with Nate. Like there was another book that I was kind of having a hard time with and seeing if it was going to be my pick of the week. But if we're only picking one, it's this one. I think it hit everything on all cylinders. It moved the narrative. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm totally wrong. I found it on Image's website. It's 10 issues.
Well, that makes me feel good because I was about to say 5.
10 issues.
Perfect. Well, I can't wait to read more.
I think that's how much Do a Powerbomb was too.
That's yeah. Well,
kind of seems like his sweet spot's like around 8 to 10.
8 to 10, yeah. I wish he'd come back to Beta Ray though. Or just Marvel in general. Like,
yeah, any Marvel, anything that he does, I'm sure.
If he did DC too, yeah. All right, let's keep moving. The Power Fantasy. Wait, before I get to that, Joe says, more I read of DWJ stories, I'm leaning towards his storytelling over his art. So much heart in his stories. I could see that. I still really do. I really do love his artwork. I mean, his artwork is just so fucking metal. Like it's raw. It's intense. I think when you have the right colorist on it too, it really amplifies his work. I don't know, but I've always been like, granted, you put a Pepe Larraz in front of me, you put a PP in front of me, you put an RB, you put in the right circumstance, you put a Ryan Stegman in front of me, in the right circumstances, because right now it's
Mm-hmm.
not. And there are there's a handful of other artists that like you put in front of me and I'm like, hell yeah. But like, you know, like if we were if it came out that Danny Warren Johnson was gonna do a Vision book, I'd be like, hell yeah, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, all right, Nate, what is a character that you absolutely despise?
I don't want to talk about this.
Come on.
I don't want you to say it.
Come on.
You know who it is. All the chat knows who it is. You know.
Cyclops.
Yes.
Okay, so 2025, Dan Warren Johnson is writing and illustrating a solo Cyclops books. Cyclops books. You're picking it up.
Yeah.
You're picking it up. Lord in the chat says, if I see DWJ did the cover, I'll always grab it. Grab it these days. Nice.
Yeah, so I'm actually getting the cover B of all these issues because they're done by Danny Warren Johnson.
Nice.
Not that I think he's better than Rossmo.
You like him.
I like him, and I think it's kind of a neat way to collect the series.
I did that with the Vanish, his Vanish covers. I mean, I like Ryan Stegman, but like his Vanish covers were
they were good.
Great. All right, let's jump over to the Power Fantasy issue number 4 from Karen Gillan. You know, again, I'm digging the hell out of this book. I think issue 3 was probably a stronger issue, but I think it was like a midpoint in the series in the sense of like laying out the timeline, laying out how drastic, you know, these beings are. And we got more of that in this issue, which is essentially, I forget her name. It starts with an M.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Misumu? I don't remember. Anyway, the character on the cover, essentially her nuclear tick is her emotions control a kaiju. You know, at least that's what it appears. Like when she gets angry or she gets emotional in any kind of aspect, the kaiju comes. I think it's angry. The kaiju comes out of the water and destroys shit. So she is in this issue. She's having a gallery night. She's done a bunch of artwork, and she's waiting for a very world acclaimed critic to come in and critique her art. On top of that, we have our main, what I would call our main character. I can't remember his name. I'm gonna look it up right now so I can.
I don't remember his name.
He's been in every issue. He essentially has been the gatekeeper to a lot of these beings, like the peacekeeper, if you will. But that doesn't mean that what he does is ethical or even right. He's just, no. I mean, even if it's, I wouldn't say right. He'll do at whatever cost to keep the earth spinning. Yeah. Right. And so we see him at play here. Lux is his last name. He's essentially manipulating pretty much everything so that the earth doesn't end, whether that's taking out half of the US government because they want to nuke all these powerful beings, or it's manipulating the critic to make sure that she gives a fair and balanced and almost humanistic review of this girl's artwork. Masami.
So she doesn't kill everyone.
Masami. Yeah. But what I really like about this book, obviously the humanity of it, but I do like the other gods, if you will, or these powerful beings, looking at Lux and kind of rolling their eyes and being like, again, really? You know, like,
yeah.
But at the same time, they're grateful for his service because if he wasn't there, shit would have gone awry, or at least that's the implication, right? That shit would have gone awry and the world would have ended because someone didn't critique this person's art fairly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the issue. I thought it's great. I'm really enjoying the Power Fantasy, even though it's much more slice of life than it is. Like, we get snippets of dramatic scenes of Power Fantasy. It's really the world building and the relationship building that's driving the book. Now, in the last issue, we got the timelines and we got, you know, shit really going down and realizing the massive implications of these individuals and how far the governments of Earth are willing to go to keep them in check or even eliminate them outright. And so from going from that issue to this issue is obviously a downward slope, right? It's not I don't think it's nearly as impactful. I think the biggest thing that we learn, which we already kind of knew, but we just get more of an idea of how kind of shitty Lux is, even though he's not. Like it's a very weird balance, right? Like he's doing the right thing, but he's doing it in somewhat of an unethical way.
He is willing to do whatever he thinks is right, regardless of whether anyone else thinks it's ethical or not.
Right. And so I think that's the internal conflict within the reader is like, do you side with him or not? Like, oh, well, he saved the Earth, but he killed like half of a government.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like it was demanded. So I don't know. Like, I think this book poses a really strong question that I don't know what it is, but I'm intrigued by it. So it wasn't the best issue in the series, but I think it helped drive the idea of Lux. Like, I think the biggest thing for me in the book was when Masume's girlfriend is having the conversation with Lux, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna wipe your mind now again. And she's like, wait, how many times have you done this? He's like, it doesn't matter. Whoop. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, that was pretty intense.
So like, I think it's just gonna get darker and darker.
Yeah, and I think all this setup for, what did you say, Masumi, yeah. Yeah, I think all this setup about keeping her in check is like clear foreshadowing about her. She's going to eventually.
I think we're gonna get I think we're gonna see multiple, like, whenever he gets taken out, inevitably, that's when we're gonna see how many of his checks and balances were really critical. Because I don't think it's just gonna be her. It's gonna be multiple individuals just like going off the rails. So
right.
Going back to chat. Go for it.
No, I was just gonna say the artist here, Casper Wingard. That's phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Very good detail-oriented stuff, and I love the coloring of the book too. Kind of some of the splash, like monotone colors, where you're just using like one color with an accent in some instances, I think is really good. I really liked the beginning splash page where you see like this amoeba-esque kind of kaiju spilling over the city, and you're like, whoa, what is that? And like as you get in, you're like, okay, that's clearly Masume's power.
Yeah. I believe he does all this coloring too.
Hell yeah. Patty, what's up, bro? Glad you're here. If you wrote a comic, who would you put on art? Peach or DWJ or Alex Rich? Dude, Joe, what are you doing?
All the hurtful things. So I saw this and while you were reviewing this, but I feel like I would pick Daniel Warren Johnson. And I'm not even necessarily saying he's the best of the three, but I feel like his style would most represent a story that I think I would tell in a comic.
I like that.
I very much enjoy and think that personally I would write something that is probably centered around like real life that has just the slightest bit of fantastical element to it, but it's still really grounded in real life. So like I just feel like his style would be best for that.
Man, I thought you'd say you'd do something horror-esque and you'd pick Peach.
That's my second one. Because I really want to do that too.
I would do DWJ for sure, and that's not a knock on either Peach or Alex Ross, because I would want to write a book much like Beta Ray that has influence of like Evangelion and Macross and obviously Marvel, because he does it so well. Like he does 1980s anime so well, even in Transformers. So yeah, I'd probably go Daniel Warren Johnson. So all right, let's leap over to DC with our one DC book, and that is Wonder Woman issue number 15. Here's my mini rant. Let's just get it off. Let me just get it out here right now. I'm done. I'm out of on King's Wonder Woman. I find it boring. I find it not true to Wonder Woman. I think the lack of her voice and the book being written in the perspective of the Sovereign was a massive miss in my opinion. I'm sure a lot of people would disagree with that, and that's fine. But I just don't find it. Reading the book, especially this issue, and I've had issues with a lot of the issues. but I was able to read this book without reading the little bubbles of the Sovereign explaining to me what I was seeing on the page and the impact of what they were doing on the page.
Yeah.
This issue in a nutshell, we are cutting the legs out under the Sovereign, whether that's financially, militarily, personally, personnel-wise, or ego-wise. That's this book in a nutshell. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I think the most impactful issues for me are obviously the first issue and the issue where
They go to
she
buy
was
Batman and Present. Well, they go buy Batman and Present.
No. When she was dealing with the internal conflict of the Sovereign, like fucking with her brain.
Yeah.
And her saying goodbye to her husband and like all that. Like that was the most impactful. I think this book is just boring. And this, to me, outside of very individual basis on other books, I am done with the main DC line of comics. When Chip Zdarsky's book is over, I will be done with Batman. I'm done with Wonder Woman. I am sticking with the Absolute. I think, and that might be cheap. That might be the easy way out, but that's just how I feel. I think a majority of the main storyline books are just not appealing to me because you either need to know too much of lore within the DC universe to understand what's going on, or I'm dumb. I'm just dumb because I was expecting something else from this book. I was expecting Mr. Miracle. That book was fun because it was like slice of life yet still superhero, and this is like, I mean, it's very clear that this is an origin to her daughter. Great, but I don't care, and the reason why I don't care is because of the lack of Wonder Woman's voice and more of the Sovereign, which again, I know we're dismantling the Sovereign in this arc, but I'm just not digging it.
Yeah. I don't know. I am probably out too. I'm not as hard on this as I'm probably out. I just, this book always feels like a chore. I do really enjoy the art, and I enjoy the like layouts and stuff. I enjoyed the various Wonder Girls, whatever you want to call them, and how they're affecting everything. But I feel like we're on issue 15 now. It's been a year and a half that I've been waiting for a Wonder Woman story for her to be leading the charge in her book, and it's never going to happen. So,
yeah.
So like Barlow said, Absolute. We'll just if we want a Wonder Woman story, we'll stick with that one.
I think you said it perfectly. It's a chore. Like if a book is a chore, then why are you reading it? Like it's clearly that like you have this sense of obligation, and that shouldn't be the case. Like these comics should move you. Yeah. Do some of them have misses? 100%. It's not going to be, I mean, not everything's going to be a banger. There will be misses. But this was just kind of the final straw for me. So, just getting back to chat, Lord says, if it felt further down the reading list and I realized it was never going to catch up.
Yep.
I really dug Absolute Wonder Woman, so I'm hoping it holds my interest. I think it will. Comic creators are even saying, don't spend money on books you don't love. Gavin said that on a live stream just yesterday. Survivalist, what up? Joe, I gave Wonder Woman during the first arc. King's writing is great, but also not necessary. Maybe my pull is for his style is too much, but just not having a good time, and comics are too pricey. Yeah, I just, like if I'm gonna, this past week I pulled 13 books, and I didn't pick up some other books because I'm out on those too, because again, they felt like a chore. Like I didn't pick up Thor. I didn't pick up World's Finest. I'm out on that. Like I am paring down. DC, unfortunately, at the moment, is on the chopping block for me. And I'm sure Marvel at some point will too. But right now, I mean, I'm not reading a lot of the Marvel books. Like I'm not reading Spider-Man, even though I am reading this current line. I'm not reading anything Venom. Like I'm not doing any of that stuff. There's some people that are really digging Venom right now.
Yeah.
So I'm invested in other ways. So all right, let's keep moving. Let's jump over to Marvel. We got Daredevil issue number 15. This kind of felt like it was consequential, yet felt kind of fillery in my opinion. In the sense that when I read the solicitations, I was like, oh, it's Foggy. Like it's very clear that the demons are now possessing Foggy, someone near and dear to Matt. And that's about it. Like, the Elektra stuff I think is probably the most intriguing thing for me in this issue, which is like she's still very heartbroken that she can't be with Matt, and she knows that she could be with Matt right now if she wanted to be, but she knows that she would get her heart broken. So she's like, fuck it, I'm not doing this. Like, figure your shit out, bro. Fight the demons you got to fight, and then we'll figure it out.
Right.
But what I think the thing that is most impactful to me for this run right now is that we have not just written off Elektra as Daredevil. We are keeping in that lane. She is there to stay, at least for a little bit longer. And I like that. But I will say, like, the issue in general felt a little filler to me. Like, we didn't really move the narrative that much outside of, hey, Foggy's the next person being manipulated by the demons, and he's about to hit Matt, not just as Daredevil, but as Matt. So buckle up, right? How is Matt going to take care of that? There's no way he's going to throw one of his sticks at his head. Like, he's going to have to fight him in court, it sounds like. So we're going to have a law showdown in court with a devil and a devil. So it was fine. I don't think it was the strongest issue. And I think if there's one thing that's disappointing is that the cover is such a red herring. And they even said it in the solicitations, like, what happens is this issue isn't on the cover. And I'm like,
yeah, that's so stupid.
What are we doing? Like, I mean, I get it. Like, to have Daredevil like getting ready to punch Foggy like that, yeah, that would suck too. But I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I liked this issue. I thought it was. I enjoyed it. I liked the Elektra. The moments with, I don't remember his name, the other priest. I really liked those moments, and I really like the idea of Foggy being possessed and how Matt's gonna have to overcome that. I find that I liked it.
Yeah, well, I mean, Foggy just has such. Outside of Elektra, I think Foggy has the most in detail and intricate relationship with Matt, and probably knows most of the demons that he holds. So that's gonna be pretty damning when we get to that point.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got my chat over here because my camera's in front of this and I can't see chat here. I was thinking about going more DC, but one world under Doom got me excited, so I need to save up that coin. Right on, Joe. Lord, a few crossovers from Marvel really have me on the fence on the Doom event. I don't know about I still don't really know much about the Doom event, and that's my fault for not looking into the solicitations. I know that there are spin-offs, there are tie-ins into other issues, but I'm still wait, what's happening? I still don't know what Doom. I mean, it's very clear Doom is getting ready to just set the world on fire as Sorcerer Supreme. I think that's probably the gist of it. But you always know that there's an ulterior motive. He's after something, right? And I don't think it's as easy as, well, Doom's just gonna Doom. There's something that he's gonna do. We just don't know what that is. Anyway, back on the Daredevil, Joe says Amit always came in after a long, great run and had always showed promise at the beginning, then dives. His Wolverine is already showing. I'm not even reading Wolverine. I'm not on that. I think Ahmed's Miles Morales is good, but Ziggler is knocking it out of the park at the moment. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's keep going. Did you have anything else to say? Okay. All right, Exceptional X-Men. Be quick on this from Ewing. This one, I'm enjoying it. It's I think it's a denser, less actiony version. If it would, what am I trying to say? It is a less, if it was called Uncanny X-Men, it would be a less action-based, denser, more slice of life comic, and that's what this is. And I don't mind it. I like Kitty Pryde. I think she's a great character. To see her resisting being X-Men, training these kids, I like it. I know that it's probably drier for most X readers, and they've probably already dropped it. But I enjoy it. This is a silly goose time for me book.
Yeah.
I'm sure that we will see these characters incorporated either into X-Men or Uncanny at some point, because these are New Mutants, and so they'll be put into some other team. And whenever this book, unfortunately, maybe meets its end, I don't think it's anytime soon, but I can see this one being one of the books that gets chopped fairly quickly. But I enjoyed it. Emma's manipulative. She gets the kids suits, and then she's like, I can't train you. Then she manipulates their minds to think that they're fighting these like goblin ghouls, and then they find out that it's her, and Kitty gets pissed, and then she's like, they're training to be X-Men. Great. And then at some point, I didn't quite understand the ending though. Like, Bobby shows up and is like, I don't know why he shows up, nor do I don't understand why he freezes. He ends up freezing Kitty, like, out of nowhere. She's like, I'm back. And I'm like, wait, what? So this book was like 95% great, and then 5% at the end I was like, something got lost in translation. So interested to see what happens in the next book. But overall, it's fine. It's a fine book. Joe, I don't know why they said this is a 1 of 3 main X-Men book to read. This is flat. I could see that. I could see it being flat for really based off of the other books that are available. And again, Uncanny X-Men is just that damn good. Uncanny X-Men is just that good. I've read Eve Ewing's Black Panther run, and it's all about the vibes, but not the story. Same here. Okay. All right, let's keep on moving. We got Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, issue number 2 from Jed MacKay. Yo. I mean,
yeah, that's really good.
The best part of this book was 8-Ball using his Q to flip over a car.
Yes.
Just saying. It was just cool.
Yeah.
Obviously the, origins of this moon dust or whatever it's called. I forget what the name of the drug is. It's not moon dust. I forget what dust, or I don't remember what it's called. Him, Moon Knight going to Tony because he's an addict and getting him to analyze it, and then them realizing that glitter. Not does it just have a psychedelic effect? There's some kind of magical effect to it too. So this is a fucking drug, bro. Like, this ain't, you don't fuck around with this shit. I liked that, and then I really like, even though I personally don't understand the implications of this person coming back or still being alive. I know that there is weight to it because of what he's done in the 616, and obviously there's a connection between Tigra and this character, but Hank Pym basically being said that he's still alive, like this, I mean, that's momentum. Like, that's momentous. Like, yeah. I may not quite understand it as much as maybe some other readers that are more seasoned, but I know that that's a big deal. So pretty exciting. Also, I like that, like, the beginning Moon Knight was like, him and Hunter's Moon and even 8-Ball were like these badasses, and then we've got this, like, again, MacKay is doing such a wonderful job, and I think Rainbow Rowell did the same thing, where we bring in Rogues Gallery characters, and as a reader, you're like, I don't know who that is, but when they're introduced, they're done in such a way that I'm like, okay, I want to go find out. Yeah. Whereas there are other books that do that, and I'm like with DC, and I'm like, I don't give two shits if I want to go look that up or not. I don't care. So I don't even remember the name of the villain, but when they showed up, and they were, that was fucking cool. I was like, this dude's wild.
Well, and you also got to think that, like, MacKay literally had to have pulled this guy out and was like, Capuccio, I want you to do some shit. Like, this is the guy to do it with. And, we obviously, like, MacKay's the writer, and, like, it's usually who we refer to the book as, but, like, this book is not the same without Capuccio.
I agree.
Not that the issues that he's not on aren't good. They are. Like, what are we, between the 3 runs, we're at, like, let's see, 38, over 40 issues now. And, like, it is. This is the dude's career definitive run so far.
Chef's kiss, 100%.
Good stuff.
Yeah, dug it, loved it a lot. Never heard of the Cubist, but now I hope to see him again. Need to go back and pick and read Avengers Inc. Hank Pym is coming back. Glitter. All right, let's keep going. Phoenix issue number 5 from Stephanie Phillips. The Eternity stuff and them, Eternity and Oblivion and the Living Tribunal, and all of them asking Jean Grey to essentially join them in their omniversal presence, I thought was cool. Essentially, she gets asked to ascend past the universe and into the omniverse and be just someone that is above it all. And obviously Jean's like, no, the X-Men. I gotta save everybody. So she did that. So that was cool. But this character that's a villain within Asgard, I'm kind of like whatever. But he's manipulating. Remember Al Ewing set up like the galaxy, like the Universal Planet Galaxy thing. Like it was like the Universal Planet League over in DC. You remember that? It was in Guardian. It was in his Guardians run. It was like a council with like Gladiator and so they're here again, and they are basically debating if the Phoenix is too dangerous, which she is.
Right.
She is, but Jean, at the moment has control, and so they're debating if they need to take her out or not. And she ends up killing Gwar. She turns him into a star. She literally turns him into a star. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
So there was some cool shit that happened in the book. And then at the end, Thanos is now with the council going like, I'm back. So he's about to fight the Phoenix. So if you love Thanos, he's coming back. If you don't, then you're probably jumping off the run. This book is still on my pull, but it's just slightly starting to lean towards like considering potentially like making it a game day decision. So we'll see. I don't think it's the most impactful X book like some of the others, but there hasn't been anything yet that has come out that is saying, hey, this is taking over. I think if there's a book that has the potential to kick this off my pull list because that book's coming out on the same day, that would be David Pepos's Cable Love and Chrome. Like when that comes out, I'm reading it. I'm sorry,
no doubt,
it's gonna be great. So anyway, Phoenix was fine. Like it was fine. Joe, Thanos is about to clap them cheeks on that bird. Honestly, see when the X-Men go to war, we will have a Jean Grey come in like Thor did in Infinity War in Wakanda, probably. Like stop it.
You will stop.
All right, let's move on to Sentinels issue number 2. This is Silly Goose Time. Great art. Reckless. Don't get too attached.
Yeah.
If you want to know what's going on the bad guy side, that's what this book is. And no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and is it bad guys? Like that's what we're kind of delving into because they're bad guys, but like
I think we're being led in the direction of like, oh, I care about these characters, and then I think when we get towards the end of the run, it's gonna be like, oops, but you should have saw it coming, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I do like the artist's interpretation of Shaw in this book. I think
that was cool.
It was really cool. I liked like him showing up to the island and being dressed up in his like what was that?
Hellfire Gala or
Hellfire? Yeah, Hellfire Gala. Yeah, Hellfire kind of gala-esque costume, and then him just going berserker because he keeps on getting shot. I also like the suits. I like the Sentinel suits and them adapting to their certain powers. And as much as I don't know much about Onslaught, I liked the connection with one of the Sentinels and them being there during the Onslaught event.
Yeah.
I think the way Vision was portrayed in the book and like his analysis of the situation when he found this character and being like, oh, you need to leave your mom, her pacemaker's not working. I was like, that's fucking cool. Like that was just a really clever thing. So overall, I think it's a fun Silly Goose Time book for me.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm still reading this book, but I am. And part of it for me is the art. I really enjoy the art. It doesn't look like it, but it reminds me enough of Daniel Warren Johnson. Like it has that scratchiness to it, a lot of extra lines that I really
a lot of detail.
I don't know. I'm curious to see what. I don't know. I really loved the random connection between the girl being involved in the Onslaught stuff and then being brought back. I want to see more of that, and I want to see it enough that I'll keep reading it so that I can see if it happens.
Yeah. Joe says, I love the first issue. Trask said Sentinels or the wolves that keeps the two villages from killing each other. Perfect way to look at the Sentinels. Yeah. We'll see. We'll just have to wait and see. I like it though. I'm sure something of consequence will come out of this book that will move the X-Men plot overall forward, I think.
I think so too.
All right, next up we have Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider, issue number 7. Shit's getting weird in this book. It's just it's weird. We're obviously like building up towards Gwen being part of the TVA, so I think that's where we're moving here with. But the Black Tarantula to me is an interesting character. I wouldn't call him a double agent, but he's definitely working for his own means outside of his father's ambitions. I'm still digging it. I think we got a new artist on this book, and I liked it. I dug it. I think it was better than the previous issues. I don't really have much to say a lot about this book outside of we're obviously starting like kind of a new arc now that we're not dealing with the Chameleon, and we've got the Black Tarantula and him kind of bait and switching Gwen, whether it's for personal gains or for professional, we don't know. It'll be very. I want to see where this book takes us when it comes to the TVA book, because like it's very clear that's where we're moving with this book. So we'll have to wait and see. But I am enjoying it. I was a bit confused at the end because I didn't know who like the doctor was that was being kidnapped and clearly being tortured. But the dynamic between the Black Tarantula and Gwen, I think, is a fun one. I think we're going to be doing some crazy shit with Gwen, and I think Gwen is going to eventually be a much more dynamic player within the 616 when she gets involved with the TVA. When she starts moving in with the TVA, I think we're going to have a lot of fun with that. I know we're getting a Gambit like in the TVA version, like I don't know if it's going to be the one from Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine, but we'll have to wait and see. It's back. So yeah, that's my Gwen. Like I'm still reading it. Like I'm going to be reading it. I think it's fun, but it is what it is. Ghost Spider is an easy character to love, but I want more Silk. Maybe a team up book. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. That'd be a fun idea. All right, let's keep moving. Next up, we've got Storm, issue number 2. Fun note, we will be having the author of Storm on Secret Origin, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday. I am interviewing him this Wednesday and editing it, and we'll have an episode with them in the following Wednesday. This week, we have Kevin Garcia, which I still have to edit. Like, literally, the show ends, and I'm starting to edit that. But we will have the author of Storm on next week's Secret Origin. So buckle up, stay tuned for that. But Storm issue number 2 felt a little bit of a slowdown. I mean, we had a lot of setup in issue 1, and so now we're really diving into Storm's current circumstance, which is she's dying. She's dying of radiation poisoning, and there's not a lot that anybody can do about it except for maybe one character. In the solicitations, it was hinted that she was going to go see Dr. Voodoo. We quite literally don't get that reveal until the very last page of the book.
Yeah.
But we did get an introduction to another, I guess, mutant that, or we didn't know was a mutant, but sees mutant patients, but refuses to see X-Men mutants because they've got a vendetta, if you will, or gripe towards them. So we got a little bit of an explanation to that, and then that's when we get told that we need to go see Voodoo rather than him because he can't save her from her radiation poisoning. Yeah, I think the artwork in this book is really good. When she shows up in her white outfit in the storm over the pirate ship, or the shipping container ship.
Right.
That was fucking cool. Like she's flying around, just fucking doing judo chop, and fucking kicks to the face. Like I was like, dude, this is cool. Like she's so fucking graceful and powerful and just so cool. I think the artwork is fantastic on this book.
That's one of the things I'm really enjoying about it.
I think the implications of her decision in issue 1, you know, seeing the ramifications continuing in this book with people not trusting her, because like, you know, she took a gamble on how she was going to present what happened in Oklahoma, right? Does she tell the truth, or does she just say it was an accident? If she says it was an accident, she's obviously liable for anything coming out to biting her back, you know, coming back to bite her, but she went with the truth. And even though that was the right thing to do, it's still like the biases that we know are coming because Krakoa no longer exists and mutants are not acceptable, or at least within the Marvel universe at this moment. She's dealing with the ramifications of that. Even though she's a Omega level style mutant, people are still like, get the hell out of here. And like that sucks, right? But we're seeing the, I wouldn't say payoff, but we're seeing the implications of her decisions, you know, obviously into issue 2 still being felt, which I think is right. Like we're only 2 issues in, like why wouldn't we? But man, they are very stark and in your face.
Yeah, I have high hopes for this. On one of the things that I loved, now if you had paid attention to the name of this issue, you might have already knew the reveal, which I had pretty big suspicions because it was literally death by voodoo, and I was like, okay, so either anyone's put a spell on her, which that's not what this is, or voodoo's gonna be involved. And I love Doctor, so Brother Voodoo, so like I am excited to see it. And I know this is a Storm book, right? So like we're not gonna have like a cast there all the time, but boy would I enjoy for him to be like one of the supporting cast that's just always around every issue or every other issue.
Well, and it's pretty clear that, or at least I'm making the assumption that in order for her to alleviate the radiation poisoning, she has to die and be rebirth, Phoenix, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see. Joe, do you think we'll get a MCU Loki TVA book? Oh yeah, maybe. This run is low-key badass. Her being sick and dying is wild to know how powerful she is. Heck, she could die with debris. Wait, how do you say that? Debris.
Yeah, debris.
That's such a weird word. Debris that stabbed her in the first issue. How she survives against a world-ending gods. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. They wanted her to lie on that company over to be the coming-of-age mutant.
Okay, so that makes me think of this question that I had when I first read this.
Okay.
Ethically, did Storm do the right thing? Now that we're seeing the instant ramifications of her letting them know it was a mutant, did she do the right thing? Because if there's one thing that's a constant in comic books in general, not necessarily this book, just comic books in general, is this absolute mandatory thing that heroes can't, at the end of the day, they must do the thing that seems the most ethical, especially if it's sacrificial to them or their people, right? And so I was sitting there and thinking when I read this issue, especially like after the part where she literally saves them from the ship, they're like, you need to get out of here. And I was like, I actually don't think she did the right thing. I think she should have just
lied about it.
I think she should have just allowed people to believe the lie that they had already chosen for themselves. Somebody was getting hurt no matter what she said.
Right.
And I think the handful of scientists and their family being hurt is the lesser of two evils than all of them being hurt because of that. And
yeah.
it is a comic book thing for me that I'm like, they're like the Joker, like we should have killed the Joker. I get it. It's the back and forth. Like, There are just some things I'm like, listen, there's a clear ethical correct decision here. you ain't making it. This one obviously isn't it. This is very nuanced. But
well, and you have to, the reason why she told the truth, or at least what I believe the reason why she told the truth was because she's running for political office. It's gonna come out. Like imagine okay, I'm running for office. This happened, and then some journalist is like, "Oh, we found footage from a," you know what I mean, like some bullshit like that, and then "Oh, it was a mutant. She's lying." I think, I don't know. It's a very double-sided coin kind of situation, or double-edged sword situation where you're like, I think you're fucked either way. But I think you're right at the same time. This idea that you would sacrifice the reputation of all of mutantum to tell the truth. I don't know. It's a very hard line ethical kind of thing.
Yeah.
So.
It's not easy either way.
I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's keep going. Last book, Ultimate Spider-Man, issue number 11 from Hickman. I thought the artwork was going to be a distraction to me because it wasn't Chichetto. But no, I thought the art was pretty good.
Yeah, he did a good job.
The one thing that I find hilarious, and it happened twice this week, with Storm and with Spider-Man, it was like, oh, there's going to be this big reveal. It's going to be and then it was the very last page. And we get a cover appearance and we get a cameo appearance of the new Black Cat, Felicia, in this book. But when you read the solicitations, it was like, oh, this is going to be this big deal. And then she's quite literally just standing in a panel going I guess. That's what she looks like in the book. She doesn't even want to be at the Kingpin Sinister Six meeting. She just looks so disinterested. But that wasn't the most important thing that happened in this book. I think the Ben reveal and just the ever growing sense of it's all about fall down. The House of Cards is going to crumble. One, if not two, if not multiple people around Parker are going to die, and we're going to have to deal with it. We're going to have to deal because it's coming, whether it's his daughter, or if it's both, it's the entire family. If it's Ben, it's happening, Nate.
No,
it's coming.
It's not. I absolutely gun to my head, I'm not going to acknowledge it. I just no. Absolutely not. No, he knows better. We can make things bad without killing children.
Bro.
Uncle Ben dies. Fuck, that sucks. But
the next issue is a Christmas issue, and I guarantee you, his daughter, what am I, fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme? I was trying to remember, there's a line he has in the Street Fighter movie because he was cast as American Guile. And he says something that's it's troopers, prepare to launch. And it's he's playing this U.S. sergeant that's got a big American flag on his. Sorry, I am diverting. But I said it like that. Troopers. Anyway, what was I saying? Anyway, Penny Parker. She's gonna die in the next issue.
No,
guarantee it.
That I will. How much money? How much money you want to bet?
$100.
$100.
Right. I am that confident. No, we're okay. Well, let me. Let's rewind.
Okay.
Let's not do cash. You will either buy me lunch or I'll buy you lunch.
Okay, sounds good.
Penny Parker is going to die in the next issue because it is a Christmas issue, and we're gonna be fa la la la, dead.
Why would you kill a child in a Christmas?
Because it's Hickman and he doesn't care. Look, man, you read this issue. It is so how do you have Ben basically just tell Parker, with great power comes great responsibility, without saying it? Do you feel comfortable with your family right now? Do you think they're safe? And he's like, nah, fam. And he goes, bet. What are you gonna do? Well, there's nothing he's gonna do. He's gonna a fucking bomb, a goblin thing is gonna fall la la dead.
Bro, no way.
I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. I liked the book though. Oh, that was really good.
I love this book. This continues to be every issue, everything I've ever wanted from a Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I'll keep saying it as long as it is until
Penny dies.
not true anymore. But like,
Right.
this is what we want. We want an adult Spider-Man. We want a Spider-Man with children. We want real conversations, things that feel real. We want humor. Like, we want the original Spider-Man humor. Like the bank robbing scene where he literally webs the manager of the bank who's being robbed and has a gun to her head because she's being amazing. He's all beat up and he's sitting on the couch with Mary Jane and is like talking it over and all this stuff. And she's like, I'm pretty frustrated because, like, are we in danger? Like, what's going on? And he's like, I would let you know. And she goes, okay. You want to fool around? And he's just like, I want to, but I can't. And she's like, oh yeah, all right. That's just like so real. I don't know. That's just, I love it. I love this. This is my favorite Marvel that's coming out now.
This live stream may get like flagged, but I want y'all to hear. You're not going to be able to hear it, which sucks. I need to send you this, but I'm gonna play. No, I'll find it and I'll put it. You know what? If you watch my New Comic Day shorts on Wednesday, I am going to put this scene where Jean-Claude Van Damme is giving a speech in Street Fighter, and the way he like, troopers, prepare for battle. Like, he just sounds hilarious, and then you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, I just want to listen to it, but Nate won't be able to hear it, but I'll send it to him later. Anyway, I think it's gonna be great. It's funny. Anyway, the book's great. Having a silly good time. Let's get to chat here really quick before we sign off here. Okay, where's Falala dead? Because that's right. Okay. That's a YouTube short. If the roles were reversed and your girl came home with blood on her face and she was fighting every night, would you be more worried than MJ is right now?
Significantly.
I'm so glad I understand the reference. That movie was so good. It was bad. It's horrible. I have my ass off. Don't worry. Oh yeah. Troopers, prepare for battle. All right. Well, don't worry. It's gonna be. That is my clip for New Comic Book Day. I usually do anime, but I'm doing that for sure.
Do it.
All right, kiddos. That's gonna be it for episode 195 of Two Fat Guys Below Us. Thanks for everybody that was watching live. And thank you everyone that's watching this as a past episode. And I did not get one notification of drop frames. So let me know in chat. Did the stream sound good? Did we look good? Are we out of the woods? Did I just need to drop our FPS to 59.94 and our resolution to 1080p or 1080? Yeah. Let me know. Anyways, there will be a new Comic Book Day video this Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. There will be a new Comic Book Day short going out on Wednesday, and there will be a new episode of Secret Origin coming out on Wednesday at 7 a.m. in the morning. On Wednesday, we will be interviewing a comic book writer named Kevin Garcia, who is here in Texas, I believe in Austin. He is in Austin. He's got a handful of indie comics that are out or are coming out. He's looking at working on a new or revisiting an indie comic that he kickstarted that he wants to do a full-on trade for, that you'll get to hear about in the episode. And he used to work for Marvel and did their Marvel hand guides. So like encyclopedia, no, not encyclopedia. It's not encyclopedia. He made sure to tell me that it was not encyclopedia, but just info books, handbooks on Marvel history and characters. So it's going to be a really fun watch, very insightful, and I really hope that you guys watch it. And like I said, I'll be interviewing the Storm author this Wednesday, and will be very interesting because he is actually located in Nigeria. So we will be interviewing him at 2:00 in the morning.
Oh, nice.
So, but he said he was cool with it. So that's going to be fun. Thanks guys for watching, and be on the lookout for new stuff, and we will catch you guys next Sunday for another new Comic Book Day. If you're here in the States, enjoy the week. Spend time with your families, and just don't fight. Just don't fight. Don't watch football. Yeah, Cowboys won. That was weird.
God. Let's not talk about Cowboys at all.
Well, can we just? Well, actually, I kind of want to. Like, what do you think? Should they have lost today?
I didn't watch the game. I'm not watching Cowboys anymore.
I hear what you're saying, but they won, so they're squandering any hope of getting a high pick.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, they should have lost. But
Should they? I think they should have lost. I don't understand why they won. Like, why are they trying to save McCarthy? They need to get rid of McCarthy. They need to hire. Anyway, this isn't a football stream. We'll catch you guys on the next stream. As always, comic fan, be kind to one another and read more comics. We'll see you guys later. Outro.
We're leaving. Man.
And I haven't. God dang it! See, look, it's out of everybody. It's not the right size.
Sorry, it's our first time.
Well,
We've never done
I
this before.
just should have done this before